Welcome back for the third or fourth time, guys. Complexity against Wings is happening. Looks like we're good and ready to go. We're underway. No more ping issues. No more lag. It's a good, solid server from Southeast Asia, and we're ready. Moppax, I've spoken too soon. I've jinxed it. I've ruined everything. Help me, Moppax. Is Moppax even here?
I don't want to be.
Oh dear.
Oh, wait, they say 0. Maybe it was just loading lag. Just loading lag.
The Chinese team is fine, and Complexity are lagging. Well, that's no good. We're okay now. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. So, Wings against Complexity. We talked about the draft in quite a bit of detail earlier on, but for all of the new viewers joining in, welcome. This is our first best of 3 here from ESL One Manila, and we're coming from Group A. Group B will be coming up straight after this one. Another best of 3 between eHome and Fnatic on this stream for the main stream for panel, and the other games, Liquid against Mineski, as well as Secret versus Empire later on. That is ESL_Dota2 on Twitch, so make sure you check that out as well. All the big lads are over in Manila casting that one. I'm casting from Berlin, and Moppax is all the way from Canada. We've got a lovely international cast here for China against America. Should be an absolute cracker.
Really starting to regret not napping.
It's coffee time.
Out. Yeah, I thought we'd be done like game 1 by now.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
I saw people coming in there like, "Oh, casters missed the draft." That's kind of funny, right? Because it's actually been so long. We're pretty much at that point. So, the draft opened up. It was the first pick, Invoker. If you got, are they? Yeah, they're gonna reconnect. We're gonna try. Either way, first pick Invoker, and then that went into the Nature's Prophet plus the Doom for Complexity, and then into the Bounty Hunter, and then from there the rest of it filled out with a slightly early Weaver pick into the Lion and the Doom, and then you got your PL to counter your Invoker, you got your Faceless Void to try and control things up here, the Titan to try and reset the fights if things don't look too good for Wings, try and give Shadow a chance to use his time lapse as well. So there's some solid synergy coming out, and then the final pick, a little bit unsuspected, the Ice Shadow Shaman, a little bit of push. Certainly have that here, but when you've got a Bounty Hunter, it's always handy to have someone else who can give you a hand with that, right? He's not too good at it, but we kind of dictated that the early laning phase is going to be pretty important, specifically the movements coming out here from Innocence. How much pressure can he apply in the mid lane? Can he upset this horrible matchup for the Invoker? Make it a little bit easier as he has to face up against Limp. And will he be making his way down to bottom, affecting Swindles, who's gone for this very aggressive build in terms of regen. So
right now, Bjan...
I don't even know why I'm bothering right now.
Faith Bjan is not happy. He's drawing on the map, calling GG... What, JB? What's he writing? I don't know what that means. But the Weaver is writing something on the mini-map. JB. I mean, those are my brother's initials. James Bateson. FICE. This is not a language I understand. Oh dear lord. It's been a good start.
I can't help you out with that one.
Face. Is that an A? He's writing face. Now did you underline this? Are you drawing on the map now?
Yeah, I get the stupid lines in between though.
It only appears for you though. Like it only appears locally, which really annoys me. Oh.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
like on my map it looks perfectly fine. And if I draw, yeah, I get the stupid lines as well if I draw on my side. Let's draw cats. Oh no, I can't draw a cat. It doesn't show on the ground. Damn it. We can't join in on all the lovely drawing. Let's play noughts and crosses on the minimap.
Oh, I've tried that. It's so much effort. Plus, it's like the worst game ever made.
Because it fades after 10 seconds, then you've got to try and redraw everything and not cheat. Right, so this is game number 1. And we're about 55 minutes behind schedule. Hopefully we'll get ourselves through this barrier of lag.
Counter up there? Oh, we're not 55 minutes in. Yeah, if you guys are just joining, that's not 55 minutes up there. That is in fact seconds.
Yep.
Despite what schedules might tell you.
I mean, you couldn't have been able to tell that level 1 lion 55 minutes in. Nothing, nothing spectacular there.
Unusual. We've seen that before, I'd say.
I mean, no brown boots. Just level 1, 55 minutes in. Pretty standard for your 5-role support. Now, Bounty Hunter is already invisible and is scouting around. Sentry, 2 Observer Wards over on him, so it's going to be his mission to go and ward himself up through the jungle, I think, a little bit here. Do you wonder if he blocks up camps against the Doom, though? Because Doom doesn't rely on, 3, 4 camps. He just needs the 1 to get a large creep, and they can go wherever the hell he wants. So you need to block up, like, large camp in dire jungle. You need to block up the large camp to the off lane where Lion's standing. I'm not sure it's worth it, even blocking any camps there. So I think these observer wards and sentries maybe just look out for where Z-Freak is rotating, as well as a sentry ward for mid to try and de-sentry the 2 that Limp have been given.
Yeah, he's not going to win that battle. Where's the second sentry? It's on the Shadow Shaman. So, well, I mean, obviously there's just no way you win that as Innocence, right? Well, I guess potentially he puts down the sentry, Tango's 1, and then we go for the counter for Limp and he fails and Innocence manages to snag it up. But very unlikely scenario. He's coming in packed, loaded, double sentries, double barrel sentry gun.
But just look at this roller coaster of emotions, right? The amount of times we've been like, nope, so far so good. Lol JK, never mind. The lag is back. What was it look like in the status report in the console? How are people looking right now, Mopax?
It all looked fine the last time I checked it. Yeah, well, yeah, I'll double check. Yeah, let's see.
Thank you so much.
It doesn't show... Oh, no, it does show loss. Yeah, it shows no loss. It shows 8 for Hanskin, and it's never reliable, though. It could be...
Could be 8 million for all you know.
Hanskin keeps getting packet loss. Yeah, his is, like, fluctuating all the way up to, like, 50.
Oh, dearie me.
Fantastic. I mean, what's he playing anyway? It can't be that important. It's on Disruptor. That is it.
It's a lion.
He's on a lion. It's fine. It's a click hero.
Yeah. You just shift Q everything, You shift Q Hex into stun into Finger of Death, and then your hero is burnt. Yeah. Usefulness wears off a little bit. But I don't know. This Invoker is probably going to have a relatively rough time towards mid, and I do panic a little bit for Wings in the fact that Shadow Shaman isn't the greatest reactive support. He can't come in and save. He's better at coming in and playing, aggressively. So your reactions have to be very quick. As soon as you see Complexity trying to play aggressively onto the Invoker, Shadow Shaman has to be there or be TPing there immediately if they want to try and turn things around. So ZY, Bounty Hunter may be there around in the lane to give him some vision and maybe a little bit of turnaround potential. But if you have Furion, Doom, Lion, and a PL, all quad laning mid that we've seen a lot of recently, it's definitely something Invoker's going to absolutely hate. But if that does happen, it alleviates the lane pressure away from the Weaver and maybe a little bit away from the Tidehunter as well.
Yeah, I think ideally they're just really hoping they don't have to move Ice anywhere, right? And Shadow Shaman, probably the greediest common 5th role support that we tend to see. He always loves to just kind of hang out in the lane, do his thing, do some pulls, get some farm up. You really want that nice early level 6, try and take the tower. Ideal scenario would be somehow they manage to harass its windows themselves without needing the rotation coming in from the Bounty Hunter here. And then that way Shadow Shaman can do like a single pull, get a little bit of experience, they turn it into a push, do that a couple times, maybe Swindle shows up, harass him back. That's kind of the dream for them right now. I'm really curious as to where Z-Freak will go.
Yeah. Once they get a couple of levels on his bottom lane, though, they can kill Swindles. They just have to make sure that he doesn't get to like level 5 too fast. Because they'll have Sunstrike, they'll have double disables with Shackle and Hex. So Ice, his levels are very important for not just this lane, but as the game progresses as well, having those Serpent Wars to turn team fights into pushes. But killing the Void, you need the double disables, you might even need level 3 on the Shadow Shaman for that 1 point in Ether Shock as well, but damage from the Weaver, I really want to see what kind of build he goes for, because against the Faceless Void, having Swarm and Geminate Attack are going to be so good. But leveling Shikuchi has always been like the go-to build for safe lane Weavers, just having that cooldown reduced as much as you can, and spamming out a load of damage. But I even wonder if he, goes for not a max Swarm build, but maybe a 2 points early on just for the minus armor and tick away at this Void's HP a bit. It's a pretty good skill.
441 was pretty popular for a while. Even just going that way. But yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see like maybe a 2-3-2, something like that come out, I don't know if he'll even be needing time lapse, frankly. Of course, well, it's 2 value.
That's the thing. If he's caught by anything from Complexity, time lapse is not going to save you. If you're caught by the Doom, the Hex, the Stun, the Chrono, you are pretty much dead as this Weaver, unless the Tidehunter gets a really good like counter initiation Ravage onto them and stops the aggression. Looks like the lag is going to continue though.
The one thing that concerns me about Complexity's draft, and this is why when we talked about the OD, of course, we were like, oh, it's going to be the perfect last pick, and not too much of a surprise that it was final banned by Wings. It's kind of how this Chronosphere is going to be interacting with everything. It's obviously, we've seen Sven and Faceless Void work out fairly well, surprisingly, you know. But in that situation, you've got the Faceless Void, he jumps into the back, he chronos up onto the supports, or maybe one support and the Weaver, and then your Sven would hop onto one of the other big cores, throw down that Stormhammer, uses God Strength, go to work. And that was kind of the dream. That's how everything tended to work. And in this situation, instead, though, PL doesn't really have that own element of control. It's going to have to be onto Hanskin. He's probably going to be looking to finger the Weaver inside the Chrono. Possibly the Doom trying to get it off as well. So there's definitely the potential for him to lead off into future disables, but it's not really this Chrono where, like, two heroes are immediately dead, you know? There's the potential that the Chrono the Weaver, they Doom him, Shadow slips away, comes back into the fight. And, but at the same time, like, extended fights are still going to be favoring Complexity. You've got PL, you've got Faceless Void, obviously with multiple going through with the Time Walk, and then the Doom, Scorched Earth, running around, getting all that regen. So, I feel good for them.
Yeah, I even think this Faceless Void, you know, lack of synergy aside, if he just gets a Chrono onto Tide +1, I think that's a job well done. Because what other teamfight control does Wings have? Shadow Shaman has 2 single target disables, one of which makes him stand still and channel, which creates this massive opening for Phantom Lancer to run over the top of him. Obviously, Lion with his double disables as well can stop that in its tracks. But if you stop the Tidehunter from ravaging, Wings don't have much recourse to turn a fight around if they do get overrun by Complexity here. That might be what Swindles is looking for. Rather than just lock down Weaver and Invoker, you've got plenty of other heroes to do that, or even the damage output to kill them outright in these team fights. Just try and catch the tide. It's going to have to be a slippery game here for Wings. They have to be very, very quick-witted to handle all these mobile heroes. Because, you know, we looked at Lion, Doom, Nature's Prophet. They're all very mobile. Faceless Void with his Time Walk. They've all got abilities to, like, jump in, jump out of fights, or they're going to be rotating and smoking in the case of Doom and Lion. Just running around this map a little. But PL's Phantom Rush really cannot be understated how useful that is to catch up to a target and rip them to shreds in the middle of a team fight. Laning phase is used to run at the Invoker, kill off Forge Spirits, hitting Invoker a couple of times with a Lance thrown out. And that's kind of how you win the game, or win the lane, as a Phantom Lancer. You just doppelganger away from Cold Snap and out of danger if the Bounty Hunter's there. But Phantom Rush, if he can sprint onto the Invoker in the middle of a team fight and have Chrono back on to a couple of other people, he's not going to be too worried about what the Invoker does to him. Because early doors, Invoker has, what, double Forge Spirits at level 8. He'll have a bit of Sunstrike, a bit of Cold Snap, maybe an Ice Wall here or there. But it's not until Invoker gets into, you know, your level 12, 13 plus that you start to see the bigger, harder hitting spells come out. You know, the Value Point in Wex comes in, the Meteors start falling. Deafening Blast, obviously still, Phantom Lancer can doppelganger himself a way out of that one. Just everyone please, collectively, cross your fingers and hope.
They're trying to, I see some updates are being fired out here by ESL.
Yep.
Saying they're having issues. Even the other one is having some problems. I'm not sure if they've actually gotten going, but they're still fiddling around with IT on this new internet line, still experiencing some packet loss issues. And currently we're monitoring to make sure we're good. Oh. Okay, alright. 2 minutes. That sounds good. That's a lot of time. That'll be 4 minutes by the time you guys hear this. I mean, maybe we'll be going by then. From the future.
Wow, that's how stream delay works. We're
Fantastic.
from the future.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about Limp and how these fights are going to go down. Like, imagine if he gets immediately hexed by Ice, how the fight can change. I mean, that's brutal, right? Like, if you can actually spot him out for that initial initiation, and it's not just where he jumps on top of the Invoker, forces out the Tornado, then the Tornado's not going to be used onto, like, 3 heroes or something like that. No, this is, like, mega late game, assuming this is going to be Exort, but...
So Blink Hex from Ice.
Yeah.
And then... See, that's
then,
the thing.
like, they actually have a chance to kill him. Because if they don't hex him, like, how are they going to clear it? Like, maybe, what? An Ether Shock is gonna determine who the real one is. The Ravage is gonna determine who the real one is, and at
Hey,
that point,
we've seen Veil Invokers before. Like it's not
go.
usual or common, but in a couple of games where Phantom Lancer has been running over the Invoker a little bit, I've seen them go for a Veil, not just to indicate which Phantom Lancer is real, but also amping up a lot of your magic damage. It's a decent stat item. Probably not what you aim for as your primary itemization, just because it's not the best in terms of build up for the Invoker as you head into like mid game. It's no mobility, it's no Aghanim Scepter, and it's definitely not a Hand of Bloody Midas. But who else? Like, there's no one else that can really buy a Veil here. Bounty Hunter can, I guess, but I think you want your Vlads, your Drums, your Arcanes out of him, because we're expecting the Tide to go for a mech here, right?
Assuming so, yeah. That would be kind of... what's their timing gonna look like? Yeah, no, it'll be the mech. You're not gonna be getting too much of an early blink, I don't think. Just go mech into the blink, mech into the Force Staff, whatever you prefer. Go? Oh, please, yes.
It is now 12:05 in the Philippines, 6:05 in the morning here in Berlin, and we are ready with game number 1 of this best of 3 for ESL One Manila 2016. Complexity against Wings in a best of 3. And we'll see exactly how things fare as Swindles. He's already spotted out his counterparts down towards his bottom rune spot, and he knows that there are 3 or 4 heroes down here and available to kill him off. Looks though like Complexity want to contest both rune spots. Bounty's hovering around towards mid. He's going to be spotted out there by Chessie. Where's he? Placed an Observer Ward, yeah, deep into the Radiant Jungle, so he'll be looking for the Doom's rotations from lane to lane with that ward. Wings, though, they're grouping up en masse down towards bot spot. I'm not sure about this. They've got 1 disable here from Ice, depending on what he goes for, but Complexity back themselves away. Swindles gets insta-bashed by Roshan, and now shackled up, and the Sunstrike comes through. Swindles! Time walks away! Oh! Heart and mouth moment there for the Faceless Void, barely getting out.
Alright, we're good, everything's fine. Lane's gonna be starting here. Good thing Swindles did bring all that regen, but again, every little bit's gonna count here, I would believe. He's pretty far away here from that Iron Talon, if that's what he's gonna have to resort to. And then, of course, there's a Bounty Hunter, so not exactly the ideal option, it's kind of the nuclear point for him. So this is what we anticipated. Heading to the mid lane with that bounty. Early Orb of Venom. Try and harass Emlyn. Try and give him that matchup. And can you imagine if he gets this courier? I'm picturing Z-Freak will just be going to hand deliver that by the time that bottle's ready. Because if you don't have that bottle spam coming out non-stop for the PL, this is no longer a favorable matchup, I wouldn't say.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, the Bounty Hunter may be showing himself soon up on the top lane. He'll get a few swipes in onto Hansken. Doesn't get the hits in as he returns to invisibility though, so... A little bit sloppy there from Innocence. But Hansken still gets the pull off. He'll return himself back to lane while Z-Freak farming through with his little skeleton army. Slapping these ogres. Nasty little guys. But he gets another skeleton resummon while down at bottom. Swindles. He is taking a lot of damage here, Moppax. Between Shikuchi, Geminate attack, this Weaver is proving to be an awful nuisance against the Faceless Void.
Yeah, this is kind of what we anticipated too. He's already lost all of his tangos. He's now into 2 Fairy Fires and a Salve. This is a very hard lane. If they can get any sort of control here from Ice, as he's trying to do right now with the side pull, those will be in a very desperate situation. It's not like it's one of these lanes either where you can just try and TP out every single time and try and punish them that way. Of course, they do have the Shadow Shaman, so it's going to be a very difficult situation.
Void bought the poor man's shield. That's the good stuff from Swindles. Try and block out as much of that Weaver damage as you can, while Limp got a PMS of his own. Last hits though. Invoker's doing pretty decently here, 6 and 7, denying out a little more than I expected against this PL. And Bounty Hunter is sitting mid as well, looking for this swipe in, but Limp has already placed his sentry out, looking for where the Bounty's standing. And Bounty, interestingly, hasn't placed a sentry and hasn't given a sentry here to ZY on the Invoker. Bounty just been running around between mid and top. He's hit his level 2 though, fortunately for him, and now with that Janada. Might be looking for Hansken. Chessie available. It's a difficult fight to go for, especially when this Tidehunter doesn't really have anything to initiate or get damage out. Still sitting at level 3. Could go for a point in Gush if he really, really desperately wants it. But the pull is stopped down a bottom lane by Z-Freak as well, so Ice, his level progression being halted just a touch.
And this is what we needed, right? Like, you had to get this rotation down from Z-Freak. Not only because there's just a bounty hunter who's going to be messing with the Doom trying to solo jungle anyway, but we've seen this combo before. The Faceless Void, the Doom, much better at applying pressure than the solo Faceless Void. You know, Doom kind of gets in the front, he tanks it up, and they're immediately going to start bringing down this bounty.
They need to secure the safe lane. They need to tilt Swindles off of this lane as well. Just push him back into the jungle, perhaps, or maybe just kill him off. They've got the Sunstrike invoked and ready from this Invoker, and that has to be called out by Limp, saying, hey guys, something's going to go on here soon. Not sure where, not sure when. But Swindles, the Shikuchi forward, he time walks away and he feels it coming, but up at top lane, it's actually towards mid. Limp, with the help of Doom and Nature's Prophet, they get the kill over on the Invoker. That's so perfectly timed, you know, all this aggression coming into Swindles, but they know with the Sunstrike invoked on the Invoker, they can move straight on in him.
Yeah, they were fully aware what was going on. Swindles even pinged himself, like, look, there are people around me, they're about to go on me here, and then immediately the Shikuchi came out. So Z-Freak does appear to be getting the treatment, though. So he'll get that Sunstrike that's been waiting for somebody.
They do get themselves up on the board, so 1-1. Tidehunter dropping low up at top lane. Chessie gets the right clicks in, and Tide gets dropped. Every lane now, looking at this aggression from these two teams as they're definitely trying to just fend each other off and poke and prod for any advantage they can possibly get. But Weaver is currently leading the last hit shot here, 28-7. Nature's Prophet 25-6, while Limp is lagging behind a little bit against this Invoker. But for the first, 4 or 5 minutes or so, this isn't completely unexpected. As Limp will start to get kills, he'll get solo kills on this Invoker and definitely start to push him back a lot.
Yeah, that heavy damage coming out though, they are getting quite a few denies. And again, our bounty hunter will show up and there's no more sentry here, but he'll have one still available to place down.
Going in on Ice of bottom lane though, the body blocks from the tree and the damage output back onto Chessie. That Ether Shock is a hell of a lot of damage and Chessie's going to drop here. They're going to try and take out Swindles as well, and Ice is still alive. Then Nature's Prophet, he's going to try and get himself away with a Faceless Void. But Shadow Shaman, Ice somehow getting himself away with that with a Fairy Fire. While over to the side, Z-Freak's caught by Innocence as well. They're trying to go back in onto this Doom with a level 2 Ether Shock and a level 2 Shackle. And not going to catch up to the Doombringer with a Shadow Shaman, so Shadow just returns back to lane. But that's a massive bonus there from Wings that was given to them on a silver platter by Complexity.
Yeah, well, I like what Shadow's done here. Instead of going for this early bottle, he's going to be picking up this urn. So, still giving you that regen. Don't really need the early boots because you're a Weaver. And now he'll have 2 fresh charges, giving that extra little bit of damage just in case he's trying to secure a couple kills.
Oh, Innocence is back towards mid. Limp going to get sliced up. Nice bounce.
Oh, this is worth doppelganger for it, is it? No. Sentry.
Oh,
we got it.
Limp with the spam clicks. Shadow gets an Invis rune down at bottom. Z-Freak on this Doombringer does have to be wary, but it's going to be the dual lane between the brothers. Z-Freak and Swindles both down towards his bottom spot. At least for now, as the experience was leached out. But Shadow, where does the Weaver go from here, Mopbanks? Aquila, Urn, into what?
I mean, it's a Doom Lion, so I guess you still go Lincoln's.
You go for the Lincoln Sphere, block out one of those spells, could definitely work out for you.
Oh, top lane.
Oh, Sunstrike onto Chessie, great rotation in from Wings. They have turned this around really nicely with the rotations from Ice. Mid lane, Complexity know that there are 3 heroes up at top lane, but they can't dive in onto this Invoker just yet. Z-Freak wants to go though. He's got the Satyr Blast and they've got Hanskin lurking around in the back end of things. And Swindles just keeps things going for himself. He's picked up his Quelling Blade now. But ZY, he spots out Z-Freak, and even with that Infernal Blade, they're not going to be able to slow him down long enough to get this kill. Limp still wants to go for it, or are they? The Nature's Wrath comes through, and the final Satyr Blast is there. They managed to catch him. ZY looks like he was safe, home and hosed, but Complexity with this very mobile lineup. The Doppelganger forward, get the vision with the Doom, the Satyr Blast, and this Nature's Prophet from all the way across the map. Managed to find themselves a kill on the Invoker again, but a lucky... No, nice little sentry ward there from Innocence. Finds the Observer ward that was giving vision on the high ground. Just wondering, Complexity, can they continue this push into Tier 1? It's getting a little bit slow with the creep wave dying off. Nature's Prophet Treant's also limited. Limp will just switch back to the creep wave as Tidehunter with a Shadow Shaman. They're given a free Tier 1 up at top lane. Or are they? They're TPing mid. They want to come in and ravage. The silence is there. He's hexed up. He's held in place. And now comes the meteor onto Limp. Double gang himself away, but Chessie stands his ground. Trying to battle up against the Invoker, and they jump themselves forward. And the hex was up to top lane. Hansken cancel that TP at the most important of times. If that Tide had continued to get into the mid lane and ravaged, Complexity was screwed.
Yeah, and you can see just how long they're hanging around that mid lane, just trying to right-click the tower, because when you look at their team, it's basically just the Nature's Prophet, right? Like, it's like Chessie that's the only element of actual push in this earlier stages, so I think they do end up having to trade. Not quite as crucial on the Dire side versus the Radiant side. You're still well protected when it comes to your farming camps versus down here where it seems to be a little bit more risky without that tower to help protect you, so... They would have been happy if they could actually knock down that mid tower, but it's within range at like one more good pick off. You could probably successfully knock that thing down. Oh, top lane courier. Oh, got it.
Good call. What was on it? What was on it? They're gonna come in and try and kill off Innocence. That was your Iron Slap. Oh no. That's the most tragic thing ever. It's a late Iron Talon, and it's only going to get even later with Innocence hiding back in the trees. They do, and Chessie will pop it to get a kill on the Bounty Hunter. But that's 100% worth it. 200% worth it for the bounty. You're wasting time, TPs, rotations, you kill the courier, the dust is popped as well. There's massive economic damage there to Complexity. Swindles, that Iron Talon was meant to be his comeback. But it's not going to work out that way as the TPs come through onto mid. They've killed off Shadow Shaman, but Limp and Z-Freak still have to be wary about this ravage from beyond.
And looks like they'll just back themselves away. Give Swindles a little bit of space, as obviously we have the TP coming in there from Shadow. Chessie, being a Nature's Prophet, feels relatively safe farming out here. There's no way you're going to get like a solo kill or anything. As the Bounty Hunter, he's still got that dust rocking. Now they're going to try some sort of rotation here. They have the ward. We'll see if it spots the Tide now.
Oh,
so
Shadow goes for the Rune Steel. Phantomancer will pick it up. Z-Freak as well as Hansken, they're still standing around over in this Radiant jungle. Chessie dies, but it's the battle between Weaver and the Phantomancer that's the more interesting one. Mid lane, Doppelganger gets himself away, but Shadow's going to walk into the Z-Freak Doom with the ulti popped and Hansken available with the double stuns. Bring down Shadow and Limp. Is he going to be able to get in range? No, he stays towards mid, doesn't want the golden experience from that. Continuing the killing spree for Z-Freak and adding a nice total to his gold, sitting at 1700 on that Doombringer.
Yeah, top wasn't very exciting. Basically, there was only one potential way that you lived, and that was if he could get the immediate sprout into a TP. But I believe there were tangos still left from Innocence. I think he actually used it. But either way, didn't matter. Didn't get it done. So, no Ravage had to be committed, though. I was kind of surprised. I thought maybe he'd go for like the first cancel and then force out the Ravage, but wasn't able to do that. This looks like it'll be denied mid. The Catapult's still pelting away here. I don't think Limp is going to go for it.
No, it doesn't look like it. And on the other hand,
well, here we go, this first Ravage.
Wings are going for something here. They want the tier 1 mid, and they want it now. There's very limited tree coverage, though. They're going to find themselves a gap through into this area, and Ice is still actually in the smoke. He's going to get the Aether Shock down, but he doesn't hex or shackle. Limp still sent over to the side, and ZY. This Invoker finds the kill back onto the Phantom to turn this into a push onto tier 1. Swindles is here looking for a chrono or something, I don't know. He's not got any follow through from the rest of his teammates. Complexity. Innocence finds Z-Freak. They're having a battle on top of this ramp while the rest of them. Let's look for the tier 1. And Mopax, it's a drums rush on Tide.
Yeah, I like this. We've only seen this a couple times this patch, I want to say, like overall, first item. But it's been pretty popular in items.
Swindle, Sunstrike, perfect combination of skills.
That's worth it. First Ravage is always worth like that. I consider it like the first black hole, really. And with the drums, right? Like, this is just more push. You've got this X-Sword Invoker. Things look fantastic right now. And how are you going to force them back? There's still no Doom.
You just throw the Serpent Wards out. The tracks are coming out from Innocence as well. And Chessie, he's got drums phase, but finding a way into this team fight, they need this Void Chronosphere. And this is why Wings with impunity feel they can just push straight into this tier 1 tower. Chessie even gave up damage down onto the tier 2 at bottom lane to come back into this. The Sunstrike onto Hansken. It's going to clip him, and the Shuriken toss through as well. Oh, hello. Wings. Perfect combination of skills once again They're on fire.
Tower has been denied.
Yeah, that's always worrisome too, because now they're able to combo up not only this tower push into adding a little bit of gold into your pockets, but that means a couple extra items, and every single fight that you win right now, of course, is just massive for you. You have the track gold up. That was a track right there on top of your lion, so Banny's already got up this buckler. He's good as arcane boots. He'll be building into that mechanism. Shadow's finishing up the treads. It does appear to be the Lincolns. Again, not too surprising, especially when you have a nice earlier start. You don't feel that real pressure to rush into the Deso, and frankly, it would be, I would say, a little bit too risky this game with a Lion and a Doom.
You're going to have a level 11 Invoker soon as well. He's got Midas drums. Invoker was the one that I really did worry about against the Phantom Lancer, but Wings have mitigated that deficit quite nicely as Z-Freak duking around in the trees as Innocence. He's going to try and get himself away, but the Sprout from Chessie land right on his head, and Swindles wants to get in here with the time dilation slowing him down. Innocence runs himself through the camp, but he's already dead. Complexity decided that long ago they needed to kill someone and kill them fast. And Swindles got his Iron Talon back. He's getting closer to the Vlads. He's got his Ring of Bassi back in base. But it's just slow progression here from Complexity. They still need the Boots of Travel on your Phantom Lancer. And up at top lane, Hansken might be in a spot of bother here. Limp is just behind him. Ice and ZY, they want to go in on this Lion, but Hansken's being very timid with this, just trying to pretend.
They see Limp with the ward.
No one there, you're right. This Observer Ward from the Radiant seeing every movement of the Phantom Lancer. And for now, Wings, they're perfectly happy with the way things are going because they have Ravage back up right now. And they could even look for more tier 2s, maybe even the tier 1 bottom lane. Try and start controlling around the Roche Pit soon.
Yeah, and when do Complexity get active, or do they even have to? I mean, you're looking towards this PL, Limp is trying to farm. Another smoke now popped here for them, whereas I don't think Complexity have used one yet. They're still holding one on the line and 2 more in stock. So this will be a little bit of a boarding mission.
Complexity used one when they moved Doom and Lion into the Radiant jungle a while back to kill...
Oh, yeah, right.
They killed off the Weaver with it, though. They killed off the Weaver.
Oh, this is good. The drum's tied. They're going to go Roche.
Swindles. The swarm's on him, and he's forced back out of lane. He knows Bounty and Weaver are both down here.
Oh, Z-Freak's going to walk right into this?
Or is he? Or is he? Bounty Hunter's going to push him back, and they turn and kill him. Z-Freak right next to the Roche Pit. Shackled and ripped apart. The vision is still there, though, for Complexity. Does Swindles go for this? He's tracked. They have vision of him. They know he's up on top of this cliff top. If he jumps in to try and kill it, he's going to go in. The Chrono does a Ravage! Faith Beyond catches Swindles and Chronos now, but it's all too late. He's put them in place, but the Finger of Death from Lion takes that one. Limp trying to battle through into the Roche Pit as well, but this Phantom Lancer doesn't have much to give. The 3-man Earthquake down, but the Sprout as well will hold Wings at the Roche Pit, but Wings still looking like they'll come out of this. Hot stuff. Sentry down, Shadow caught, but Weaver, time lapse still available. And Invoker with the Aegis of the Immortal looks like he is pretty happy right now with the way things are going. And Complexity, they cannot catch up to chase this one down. Maybe they can with the TB4 from Chessie, the Sprout onto ZY, but Faith Beyond, he's ready, he's here. The cold snap back onto the next part of the damage output is great from them. But they pop the Aegis, and Invoker has to come back to the land of the living in the middle of all these PL illusions, and he's hexed up and drained of his mana, drained of his life. Complexity, they're going to get a big kill here if they can just snag this Invoker, and it looks like with a Deafening Blast, he pushed them back for a little bit, but it's not long enough. Mega kill streak stolen out by PL, and Cole, that might be their foot in the doorstep to get themselves back in this game.
Oh, it really is. I mean, that is definitely the hero you need this on right now. Already has the Boots of Travel, wants to get into that Diffusal Blade, and actually become a threat here. The goal is to become online before Shadow does. They've now lost that Aegis, they lost the Invoker. But that farm, man, it comes up on the supports on these track wheels. So already a Blink Dagger and Ice. Will be enough to save him here, though. Does not look like it.
Limp will say thank you very much. That's my Boots of Travel, and now 2,000 gold in the bank. Complexity, you know, you mentioned track kills for Wings, but Complexity have gone from having one item each. So all of a sudden having their secondary items coming through very fast. Maelstrom on the Nature's Prophet. The Vlad is nearly done here for Swindles. And the Lion currently sitting 900 gold off that Blink Dagger. Well, Z-Freak, 1,500 in the bank, just saving up for something. What's his regular progression on this Doom?
I want to say he's a Blink buyer, but I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, oh, top lane, Chessie's good. Alright. It's a smoke. Oh, it was on the ward, I think. Oh, it's hard to tell. They might have been in this little cove of no vision.
It's not pinged out or anything by Wings, so either they're telling each other on voice that it's happening over there,
He's
No
leading with
idea
smoke
it's coming
from
in.
Freak.
They've just walked straight past the Bounty Hunter. The secondary ramp
this
working
is
out
a
wonders
kill.
for them. Invoker and the Tide. There's Ravage ready here. Swindles is tracked up, and he is the only target that Wings can see at this moment in time.
This could be bad.
Oh.
The Nature's Prophet's gonna have a CP cancelled.
There we go, jump in. The Ravage Hanskin ripped apart. The Ravage also hit onto Z-Freak as well, and over in the back end, where's the jump in? Swindles has his Chronosphere, but there's Doom. The Serpent Water down. The Shackle Shot held him in place, but it's just time to bail out here. Z-Freak burnt through by the Swarm. Shadow cannot Shikuchi forward though. Thanks to time dilation, Doombringer might just be okay. Waddling himself away.
Still have vision though. Sunstrike in 2 seconds.
Z-Freak, juke it, juke it.
Nice.
He's keeping himself away. The gush. He's out. He's out. He's gone. He's perfectly fine. You can just see though the power of Shackle between Serpent Wards and Sunstrikes and Meteors, and maybe even just having this right-click Weaver on top of them.
He is just all over Chessie. Just totally destroying this Nature's Prophet impact. Oh, are you going somewhere there, bud? I don't think so.
Radiant's middle tower.
It's so annoying.
Now he shows up half HP. He might just die to the Invoker. He's tracked. Oh man, that is
Chessie TP'd
infuriating.
into this?
Yeah.
I thought he was TP'ing to Fountain.
No.
Radiant's middle
Oh dear.
tower is under attack.
And actually Lincoln's nearly done for Weaver now. He'll TP up the top lane to deal with Limp's push in.
The Agnems is done as well for the Invoker.
Oh bother. Wings. Looks pretty good for them. 10k net worth Invoker. Currently sitting at about a 4,500 net worth lead here over Complexity. And even Tidehunter has Blink. And you're looking... we talked about how we kind of assumed Tide to go into this mech, but with the drums now into Blink build, this has allowed the Bounty to go into the Greaves. So Arcanes and mech are pretty much done for your Bounty Hunter. Shadow Shaman, Blink is available for him, so that Blink initiation onto the PL that you were looking for is now available. And Complexity, no matter where they go, are not safe.
I mean, you start to think about how do you claw yourself back. Yeah, it will be the Blink. So this is what it is, I do believe. Get the Blink, you get the Doom on top of the Invoker. A decent Chrono onto the Weaver at the same time. Try and knock him down using the Finger of Death. You're not quite level 11 from Hanskin. He's a hard enough time doing anything in these fights. Far away from a Blink Dagger, but he is going for it. He's got the Tranquils, so no Aether Lens or anything, I don't believe. And then it's all up to Limp, right? He just has to not get caught, go insane. Oh, now they have to deal with that Lincoln Sphere as well in Shadow.
What do they have to pop it? Like Phantom Lance or Hex? It's just big skills they've got to pop through that Lincoln's. It's such a great item to have here on the Weaver. Again, another hero that maybe we thought would struggle in this game against Doom and Hex, and Phantom Lance burning through all of that mana of his. Looks like it's fine though, as they just push on forward here. Wings looking for this tier 2 at top lane, and Complexity having none of it. Go for the trade down towards the bottom spot. Ice.
Dire's top
Observer
tower
ward up on the
has
high
fallen.
ground. There we go. Nice bit of vision, and they're going to watch these TPs
Radiant's
come in
bottom
as well.
tower has fallen.
As they see Limp up on the high ground, the Serpent Wards are dropped, and this is very aggressive play. 21 minutes in, Complexity maybe thinking about the trade, but they've realized very quickly that there's no time and no space for this. They'll jump in and doom up the Invoker. The Blink Ravage, though, from Faith Beyond, catches back off the line, and Limp and Z-Freak retreating out, but his armor's been burnt. He's nearly dead, but a good Chrono. Swindles catches 3 of them, and in they come again. Ice, this PL! Oh, that Diffusal Blade takes him out of the game, looking for the secondary one now. The Doom of the Invoker makes sure he cannot escape. And now Shadow, he's got no Shikuchi. The time dilation, he can't get away. Finally, time lapses out, but still dusted up and held in place. He can Shikuchi himself away a little bit further now, but the Sprout from Chessie, 3 seconds time. They just need to catch up. Another time dilation. Chessie TP's forward, and Shadow, he's held out. He can't run. They can't retreat. And Wings, they will lose this team fight as Complexity hold their high ground and make sure that Wings pay with every cent and every soul they threw at that tier 3 tower.
Yeah, that is the fight that you needed. Excellent Chrono coming out from Swindles. And getting that prioritization onto the heroes that you require. It's all about that Blink Doom, man. We saw the Lincoln Sphere come out after the Doom, onto the Invoker. But if they're not gonna be able to protect him, like, he is the Aghanim Scepter, and he just didn't do anything that entire fight. He's the highest net worth hero in the game, and you just take him away because you picked Doom. What a hero! Glorious stuff. And now, oh, that was Blinkless. What a player.
Radiant's top
Yeah, he
tower
just
is
wanted
under
himself
attack.
in. Was like, yeah, what up?
Radiant's
I'm
top
going to
tower
Chrono
has
4 of you.
fallen.
And the placement was such that Invoker and Tide kind of just ran into it as well. They didn't make the retreat down because there's like a bit of a spot here where maybe they could have walked downwards. But it was really good placement there from Swindles, catching and stopping the retreat from the remaining heroes still up on the dire ramp. But Wings, they started that off pretty well with Serpent Wards and Ravage and all of that thrown out. It's not available to capitalize and take down the tier 3. What's Chessie looking at now? 3,000 gold saved up mop packs. He was considering maybe going for Hyperstone for that Mjolnir.
He might be trying to read just how much push they have in, like, what if he gets the Agnums this game? If you look at the actual heroes, like, you've got a Bounty Hunter, not someone who's very good at split pushing as a support. The Shadow Shaman, he's pretty good. Tide Hunter, he's kind of okay, but they want to be grouped up right now from Wings, so having a PL, delaying the game out as long as you can, is always going to be favoring complexity. Doom's only going to scale further and further. It might be worth it in a game like this to go for something like that, but on the other hand, Chessie obviously doesn't want to be out too much on his own. Like, yes, he's surpassing the Bounty Hunter in terms of the overall kind of like kill potential gap, but there's always going to be Sunstrike. There's always going to be the blinking Shadow Shaman. So if he wants to get more aggressive, a more fighty build with that Mjolnir, even into some BKBs relatively soon, might not be the worst plan.
Roshan.
Swindles.
Roshan
Is he
is
gonna
a
go-
well, the drums popped out by the Tide, but Swindles one step ahead. Roshan is alive in a matter of seconds here, about 10-15 or so, until the big man returns. But Limp, Diffusal Blade, Yasha, Boots of Travel, he's progressing incredibly quickly now through his items, and you're looking at the Nature's Prophet, just as you mentioned. Sprinting
Chrono Top,
himself as well.
Gonna find Invoker. Roll the bash.
Got him. Damage output's looking
The
good,
Doom.
and with a Doom onto the Invoker, the TP from Nature's Prophet will just secure this. A little bit worried there that he might die to neutrals, but Complexity, they pick up another big kill, and Invoker's dead for 50 seconds now. This could be tier 2, mid and top if they wanted to push this.
Yeah, now coming in here with the bounty. Oh, he's got the dust. Z-Freak, your spidey sense is tingling. Oh, he can go for this.
They saw
Blink,
them.
blink dust. No?
No.
Too worried, I guess, about some sort of a counterplay.
And Weaver has only just shown himself up at top lane. Chessie immediately TPs out, realizing the damage output of this Weaver is incredibly annoying. And just look at the Weaver. Diffusal Blade. Can you purge off time dilation? I'm assuming you can.
Yeah, you can.
That's
definitely why he's doing it.
Yeah, that spell was the breaker there up at top lane. Time dilation has been so good. It's amazing against Invoker, not allowing him to cast, his Invoke most importantly, but brilliant against Weaver. No Shikuchi, no time lapse, no anything. Just have fun. Try and deal with us this way, the old-fashioned way. It's a good old punch up here from Complexity, but Swindles, he's walking into a trap. It looks like Bounty Hunter is tracing his every step, and ZY moving himself back, but the hit comes out from
This is
Innocence.
gonna be a 2-on-4. This could go bad for Cole.
Well, it's good for Cole there that Swindles got hit by the Bounty, because they could have been going in for a 2v4. But Bounty showed his hand very early on, and Swindles realizes, backs himself away, allows Limp to escape as well, and they don't get themselves into a spot where they'll be outnumbered and outgunned. But take a look at Hanskin. Blink is up. 26 minutes in, Lion with the Tranquil's Blink. Now, Complexity, it's their turn to have that Blink initiation with the Hex available.
So once more, gonna be on the lookout for these blinkers for your Invoker. I wonder if he'll be considering maybe an earlier BKB for himself, or just wants, of course, these Octarine cores. And he doesn't even have a mobility item other than his drums too, so he might be needing a Blink Dagger. The recipe for the Mana Style, it's nearly done here with the Ultimate Orb coming online shortly for Limp, so he's basically reaching that kind of scary potential for the PL. He just hops right on top of that support, pops that Manta, and you are gone.
Invoker still yet to get a mobility
Radiant's top
item.
tower is under
Maybe he
attack.
looks for a Blink Dagger soon. Get himself in and out of these team fights a little easier. Shadow, he's trying to bait out here for Ice for some kind of counterplay. But Roshan is continually scouted by both teams. And for some reason, Chessie, you've dragged a whole creep wave over to Roshan. This is not the fight he was expecting. But Roshan's being aggroed by the Swarm, by Treants, and now by a Radiant bloody creep wave that's trying to wander itself back up towards middle lane. No, bottom lane.
Are they trying something up here?
They're going to go and attack for tier 3s.
They're going. On Z-Freak, under the tower.
Looks like it, and he is just straight up dead. Track kill between the three of them. Serpent wards were dropped though. This should be able to secure at least a bit of chip damage onto the tier 2 as Shadow goes in to punch it a few times as well. But Limp has these illusions. Just runs them into the Serpent wards and it's so easy for him to clear them out without any damage back to himself.
Goodbye dreams of the time dilation. Shadow no longer going to be worrying about that. They are smoked up here. Pretty fresh. Swindles. They're backing away though. And they saw the Shadow Shaman there for a moment, so they know this is a little bit of an Invoker bait play.
I mean,
Bottom lane.
Invoker at this point, do you think about like a BKB even? Or do you go for Linken's yourself? Yeah, Limp at bottom. He is caught with the track there. He's got Doppelganger in 2 seconds time and he mantles himself back into the Shadow, tries to Chikuchi away. And Chessie, the dust is out, but the TPs are going to allow Wings to escape. Both Bounty and the Weaver get themselves away, but this could open up Roshan for complexity right now. A little bit worrisome as the Tide blink Ravage. So they'll try and consolidate their position and get some wards up to see where Wings are coming from first.
Are we ever going to get a Roche fight? I guess it's a little bit scary for complexity, right? Like it's kind of the ideal spot for Wings. Not really much reason for complexity to risk something there.
Well, there's a Yule Scepter for the Invoker. Oh,
bot
Chrono,
lane.
they've caught Shadow. The Hex is there and the stuns come through. The Weaver's dead. Oh, Bounty's chased down by Z-Freak. Throws a pebble back at him and Infernal Blade is hit down. He might look for the Doom here just to try and secure this kill, but he really wants to hold it for the Invoker. The blink forward, Z-Freak is all alone. He'll get hexed up. Sunstrike landing on his head as well. He gets taken out of the game, but still the rest of his team coming through. The Ravage thrown out by Fifth Beyond. And Swindles. Oh man, he is in a good position here for just the right attack into Ice Ice. The Shadow Shaman has nothing to throw. The Meteor down as well, but Complexity, they're holding their ground. The mech back from Wings at long last, but Limp still with the Doppelganger and the run forward. Swindles, time walk yourself away from this, my son. Get out of this fight. Because Wings, they've still got firepower behind them, and with the Tornado surging forward for another target. Innocence ready with a track and the hits in as well. Sunstrike, Hunskin sniped. Beautiful play there by the Invoker. I guess he was tracked up though.
Yeah, that actually pretty much evens out this fight in terms of the overall economy damage. But getting that Weaver, gonna be the big win for complexity. Again though, this map is just not really moving. It's been very static for a while at this point. No one's really approaching too many objectives. The, what is this, the last, yeah, 2 tier 2s. So, complexity, they just look for the pick. They try and get an objective. Not really too concerned about the Roshan. They would need, I would say, the Invoker to be picked off, and... Or I guess if the Tide was picked off too, they could try and have a go at it, but...
They have
see, Wings, they're more concerned. They're pinging it. They're like, they could be in Roche, guys. We're gonna smoke up, we're gonna go.
Definitely could be. They've got a Hex on this Nature's Prophet now, though, for Chessie. Added lockdown here. And this way, maybe you look for the Doom onto the Weaver. Interesting that Z-Freak doesn't hold onto that pebble throw from the Golem. Be a good way to pop the Lincolns. But regardless, we've got Chrono to try and set these things up anyway. And maybe try and remove that Lincolns with something else. But complex.
I guess you're probably looking for the Purge creep at this point, are you?
For the Doom?
Yeah, will that work for Track?
Oh yeah, you're right.
As well as the Lincolns?
That could be pretty nice. Roshan is going to be attempted by Wings though. It's not Complexity on the Dire side, who are getting their heads into the pit first. It looks like it might be a second Roshan here for Wings. As Aegis Immortal would be really nice on this Invoker, and he's soloing it. The rest of the team, you know, bottom lane, there's a Bounty Hunter lurking around as well. The Treants will come and scout now. But Roshan down to 1/3 of his health with his Alacrity damage just racking up for ZY. He backs himself away, realizing that Treants are coming in, but I don't know. Complexity, did they see that? They're not reacting. Roshan was half HP and wandering out of the pit. Now they'll see definitely for sure that Roshan was attempted there.
And they have a smoke on Hanskin, so they'll pop it immediately. Come over and just sit there. Let's see if our bounty hunter is a little bit too aggressive. Might end up popping something here. Oh.
Sunstrike in the pit to give vision.
Here too. What's the Radiant Vision? Time to tell.
They saw
Looks
it.
like
They can see it
here.
now with the bounty hunter walking there, yeah. But Roshan into the pit
This is gonna
they
pop
go.
these. Oh! Look how close he was.
Complexity. This is some ballsy stuff. If Phantom Lancer sprints into the Roshan now as well. Where's the Tidehunter? He's getting ready with a blink. Shiva's Ravage, he catches them all, and the Complexity absolutely screwed inside the pit. The Doom comes back to him with death on the Z-Boys. Well, the Invoker's trying to get himself away, but look at the pit! It's Phantom Lancer with the Aegis Immortal, going to come back to life in a short while, but a Chrono from Swindles. Innocence out of the game, Shadow trapped as well, but they're trying to turn this one around with Faith Beyond on the retreat out. They've nearly killed off the Weaver. Chessie, Sprouting 3, Hex not up either, but Complexity, Z-Freak, on the run away, but ZY, he has got his number. In the meantime, Tidehunter trying to sprint away from the Phantom Lancer, but all these illusions burning through the mana and slowing him down. He's going to get himself a little bit further away as the Hex comes through onto Limp. The Shackle is there as well, but Ice Ice Hex back with a Deafening Blast, and ZY trying to battle through this still with the Alacrity now. Chessie maybe caught a little bit off guard, but he's got a Sprout, still no time. Gets himself into his own grave as Shadow. Oh, the mana being burnt through on this Invoker as well. ZY dropping lower and lower. The Tornado's not there, and the Ghost Walk's on cooldown. So Limp, he is absolutely demolishing Wings. They just need vision, but they don't have it. Shadow TP's out as well as Faith Beyond. But Invoker there, that was a costly dieback. Same story though with the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, so double diebacks coming up, but man, Hanskin, hero of that fight, no question. Oh, unreal. That Ravage comes out, they caught out the Doom, the big target, make sure Invoker's not going to end up receiving that ultimate, of course, and then immediate two-man impale coming out from Hanskin. Blinks in, saves the Doom during the Ravage, manages to get it off, and that secured the kill on the Invoker, and obviously the fact that he had no impact, no follow-up whatsoever to that Ravage. That is just so fight-winning. What a sick play. What a guy.
What a guy, absolutely. 18,000 net worth on your Phantom Lance now, and Invoker, you can just see how difficult it is if he gets doomed or if he gets focused down and taken out in these team fights at an early stage. That 15k net worth, it just doesn't exist anymore. At least the Weaver has right-click attacks and can do some damage if he's doomed, but if Invoker is, it's looking pretty rough. So with the Perseverance up on ZY, I think it's going to be that Lincoln Sphere for him as well.
I think that's, at this point, it's gotta say it makes quite a bit of sense, right? And Z-Freak still managed to get these off. You got Ravage, you got all this control, you got your Yule Scepter, but it's not enough escape, not enough mobility. So him and Shadow, they can trade off some Lincoln's cooldowns, pass them around, you know, hand them off around to their buds. And they also have the Force Staff here from your Bounty Hunter, so we can help people escape from the fight maybe if they are doomed. Get them back, of course, save people from Spread. So top lane, they are gonna grab a quick pick onto Ice Ice, little Scythe action there from Chessie.
They still hold on to that Doom. And with Plate Mail for Z-Freak, he's picked up the Shivers Guard recipe as well. Trying to make sure he keeps up to par with this Tidehunter, who's actually heading into a Lotus Orb, realizing how important it is to maybe keep this Invoker alive from the Doom. Lincoln's, Lotus Orb, just all the L items, his Finger of Death, takes out the Weaver mid. And now Innocent's being chased out, the Dust. Where is it? They have a gem? They've got a gem on Swindles, that's what it is. They've got perfect vision of this little bounty hunter and the rat man is gone.
Yeah, Shadow made a mistake of wandering in next to a gem, faces void and get chronoed. Immediate pick off.
Poor guy. Poor little guy.
Radiant's
High ground defense though here from Wings is pretty good. Ravage and Invoker combinations can maybe hold Complexity away for the meanwhile. At least until they have their Chronosphere back up again.
Well, they need these big picks in order to get these objectives, but when it comes to the high ground, and the lane set to be pushed out, that's when it's going to come down to this Aghanim Scepter here from Swindles. And you got to imagine that's going to be the next item for him more than likely. Get that 60-second cooldown. It's going to allow you to mean that if the lanes are like this, and you get a kill here, you can make your way down, and then have your Chronosphere back up by the time you're actually sieging. Use it for the fight, win the game.
Hanskin. Looks like it'll be an Ether Lens for him. He's got the energy booster. But Wings, after such an amazing start, and with all these bounty track kills and everything going well for them, when did it all go so wrong?
It's hard to pick out. It's
Say,
we're dealing with a PL as well as Nature's Prophet, and I think despite the fact that your bounty hunter was just like sitting on Chessie the whole time, obviously still did create quite a bit of space for Limp, and there was that, you know, couple fights that I mean, the big one, of course, is gonna be a high ground defense against a Chronosphere. I'm not sure if like the blink was needed, maybe the immediate eggs or something from Ice Ice.
There was that fight mid lane or bottom lane, somewhere around the Radiant jungle area, where it allowed Nature's Prophet to finish off a Maelstrom, and it got the Diffuser Blade nearly done for Limp. There was like that fight there which kind of swung things a little bit in my mind and maybe started the progression for Complexity. It was like their foot in the door as Wings were trying to slam it shut. They managed to just hold it ajar a little bit longer. But after that, it's been good decision making here, and a great decision for Limp to run towards this Bounty Hunter as now the Ravages pop to try and save him. Faith Bian has burned through his ultimate, and with his Lotus Orb forward, he'll try and TP himself away, and it looks like he'll not be able to complete this. Hanskin is there just in time. Nature's Prophet has killed off the Bounty Hunter further forward, but this Tidehunter with no Ravage and no life, Wings might just lose the game at this point. Their high ground defense is now limited to Invoker, and they are trying as hard as they can to just push forward, split push on these side lanes, but bottom, Shadow, Weaver, BKB and Lincoln Sphere with this Diffusal Blade, fully defensive itemization, but Complexity, they're on the rampage now. The marauding hordes of Call heroes running straight towards this Radiant base.
Now the only TP left is Chessie. Okay, Hanskin's back in base now too, okay. Alright, and they'll bring back the Invoker, so nothing too disastrous will go down.
Oh, Shadow Shaman Serpent was doing good work up at top. Tier 3's gone, but they're going to trade this for a lot of damage onto the melee ranks, and it looks like Limp with Z-Freak try and finish this one off, but a great doppelganger away. Gets out of the tornado, and the melee rack is still standing. 29 seconds until that Tidehunter's alive, but you've got to remember there's no Ravage here. While top is defended perfectly by Complexity. But melee rack's damage done, it can get regened up, and if Complexity don't finish that off in the next 30 seconds, a minute or so, it could have been just a tier 3 for tier 3 trade-off.
Yeah, and Swindles just goes right into the BKB. He says, we're just going to win this game. Like, I'm just going to rely on my allies to get these big fights, or I'm going to hit a big chrono outside the base, and then we'll use our Doom and everything else. Not too concerned about that 100-second cooldown. But it is obviously incredibly important that he gets off these chronos at this point in the game, so you really don't want to get Blink Hex or anything like that. You want to make sure that you're not cut out in these Ravages, and 10 seconds is a lot of time for the Tidehunter to work around. It is still the only BKB, correct? Yeah, so we don't have any out here from Chessie or anything like that yet. He's, yeah, just going to snag it up now. Alright, there we go. Blink Hex BKB, the dream. Damage, utility, Nature's Prophet. This is the one that you really love if you can just get away with it.
Oh man. A Hood of Defiance, Z-Freak, he will walk into the Invoker and Bounty Hunter though, and this is the level of anger here from ZY. Meteor, Cold Snap, and the kitchen sink thrown into that Doombringer Limp though. He's ready to fight with the track taken off by the Manta Style. Diffusal Blade is back onto him to purge him up, but a nice doppelganger away. We got Limp back to safety and also allow Chessie to come in aggressively, looking forward to Innocence on this bounty, but nothing doing just yet. As Wings set up for the counter initiation to jump in with a Shiver's Guard, but Faith Bian doesn't chuck the Ravage out just yet. Complexity, a little bit of a poke and prod there. They wanted to avenge Z-Freak's death, but instead they just get some good pushing done mid and top.
Yeah, there's no TP slot available for Swindles right now, so he can't be there for that as long as he's carrying the gem. Or else maybe they can turn that into something. But without that detection, it's just highly unlikely they'll actually pick anybody off there.
They want to go for Invoker here. There we go. Blink, Chrono, and the Hex is down. The damage output is great from Complexity. Easy pick off on that Invoker, even through his Lincoln Sphere. Wings, they know they want to try and get something out of this with a BKB from Chessie. He cannot TP, but he can blink himself away while Swindles. Time Walk, Blink. Time Dilation is there. Still not able to blink, but Wings realize this is not a fight they can go into. With a jump forward from Limp, he TPs onto the creep wave. He's looking for the bounty and he'll find him easily. Innocence is gone. Innocence is taken.
They want more right now. They want to force that buyback so hard, but Chessie can't find anyone.
How much mana does Swindles have? He's got no chrono. Limited mana as well, but with a Vlad, he can push himself a little further forward. Getting burnt out by the Shadow Weaver. All that Diffusal Blade mana burn, but top lane Limp has been left a little bit alone, and that's the buyback from the Invoker Force, just like you said, and Complexity will take this to retreat, at least for now. Swindles still up on the front lines. Tier 3 top is dropped by the PL. Wings are just being pulled all across their base, not knowing exactly where to strike, because Complexity, they didn't do the full bailout. They kind of hung around a little bit over towards the Radiant jungle. Wings couldn't let it go untested.
Well, you take a look over to that pit that Hanskin's in now, and max duration. There is just like no time left on that little clock, so the full 3 minutes for Wings to try and work with, trying to amount some sort of a plan. It definitely looks like Roshan's in Complexity's control at this point. They got this ward down. I don't think they have a gem of their own. No, they do not, so that's going to be some very nice vision for them. Very helpful when you're trying to spot out, like when everyone just kind of walks up the ramp and smokes, you know? You don't have the general vision, but you still know what's going on. And again, another great ward here from them, too.
That
But
one will
picked
get
off.
counted out. Limp Eagle Song, so Butterfly. And this is where things start to get really nice as a Phantom Lancer. Sure enough, you're against an Invoker who maybe can throw tornadoes and meteors and ice walls at your illusions. But against a Weaver, he's gone for Diffuser Blade Lincoln's BKB. First off, there's no Monkey King bar to deal with that Butterfly. Second off, there's no, Mjolnir or anything like that to deal with the illusions. So PL gonna have a really good time against this Weaver, as Tide Invoker and the two big guys to try and deal with that, and still no Veil or anything like that from Wings to spot out the real one in the pack of illusions, while Complexity. Diffusal is now up for Swindles, and they've smoked up with Z-Freak, just the two of them. Of course, they'll have this TP from Chessie and the TP from Limp if they really require it. Hanskin going to meet up with them as well. Roshan's alive, but again, they want this pick.
This could be
They
their
want
chrono.
the jump, and they'll catch it on the Invoker. They'll try and promise Lincoln for the Ravage to bring back in from face behind. We'll catch a couple of them here, and Z-Freak's still yet to do, but they've got the Finger of Death back on the Invoker. He's dead with no buyback. A minute and a half without him, and they just continue through battling into these Serpent Wars, but the jump back from Swindles into Innocence. Bounty Hunter's dead. He is absolutely rogered on the back end of the fight, but they're chasing into the tide under this guy, the Watermelon, running through, but he's got no mana. He's burnt out, and he's got no life either. Complexity will take out 3 heroes here. And look to push up onto Barracks. GG is called. It's all over. Game number 1 in its best of 3 will go the way of Complexity.
Man, things were looking scary there. What was the lead at the start of the game? He made it up to about 5.5, and they were kind of sloping up towards, you know, it was starting to get a little bit of control, but that first fight and then that disastrous attempt to mount the high ground. The whole time, the GPM was starting to climb the way to Complexity, and maybe Wings felt that kind of a pressure where they thought, you know, our Weaver's pretty farmed right now, our Invoker's doing well, that Aghanim Scepter just got finished up right at kind of like the pinnacle of their big gold income peak, and they went for that disastrous push. It's just one beautiful chrono from Swindles, saves the fight, and maybe a little bit of poor positioning, like they kind of walked right back into that chrono, weren't quite prepared for it. But despite not having the best heroes when you think about it in terms of capitalizing on it, they were able to pick off their key targets, get that Doom off as well. Of course, Z-Freak, man, nailing those Dooms, and Hanskin as well, nailing those double impales too. So sick game so far from Complexity. Excited to see what Wings are going to pull out in the next draft. We already just saw like this Weaver they hadn't even picked in a while, their key Invoker being given to them but still losing the game. And we'll see who's got first pick, who's second pick, who's Dire, who's Radiant. All those exciting 6.86 intricacies.
For sure. Well, Complexity against Wings in a couple of minutes. We will find out. Game number 2 is coming up shortly, guys, so don't